So the goal today is to make hot cocoa and we're gonna talk. No, what are you doing? Get your finger out.
And so mine has salted caramel hot chocolate. You can come back to me.
No, I don't want to.
Come on! One time!
Take me out.
Please! Mine's better. Right?
No,
Mine's better.
mine is better.
Mine's better. I'm just saying. Yeah. Alright, babe. Push it.
I made a post on TikTok and I said cheers to the people that are not spending the holidays with their families because of toxicity, healing, or unexpected events. That you are not alone and to stay strong. So I made that TikTok last night, as I was drinking my whiskey. And I genuinely cheered, for those that do not spend time with their families. But I just posted it because at that point I was feeling a little bit off. Even though, I was with you and stuff, and some of the family members, like my immediate family members, I didn't spend the holidays with. And I meant it, because I didn't know at that moment who was going through this or not, but I posted it, and then I came back that a lot of people responded, and now it's got like over 30,000 views, and then like a good amount of people are like commenting on it, and I didn't think that was gonna happen, but I meant it, and now I was reading the comments, and it said some people said thank you, I really needed it. Some people were giving me the cheers, emojis. Others were saying that they will pray for me and stuff, or to stay strong. So I got a lot of really nice messages from people. And then some other people were sharing like part of their lives, like some like little stories of what happened to them. So it's just nice to see that. It's not an interview, by the way. You can talk.
I was like, I feel like I'm in a Naynay YouTube video.
Shut up! Like, it's not even like that.
It's like,
I'm
I'm just here to be the eye candy, I guess. We're trying to spike the views a little bit here.
Relax.
Throw in the Tazz name in there.
This is Tazz knows, guys. Hey, people know who you are. If anybody doesn't know, relax. This is Tazz knows. This is Tazz.
And I know.
And you know. Well, we've talked about it in several videos, and I've showed it in several of my videos, so you guys can go back to those. And if you haven't done so, go ahead and start following on Spotify, Tazz knows. But yeah.
So, I guess, where do you want to start with this? I'm just here to kind of mediate the conversation between all the voices in your head.
He said otherwise. Well, not.
So are you comfortable talking about what happened this year on Christmas?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I want to be real with it,
So walk us through Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
You went to work that day. Yeah. You worked.
Christmas Eve. That was
Saturday.
Saturday. Yeah. Yeah, regular day.
Mm-hmm.
Getting up at 6 a.m, going to work, and it's the blizzard, so it's like -2 degrees, and yeah, traffic is bad, and it's super freaking cold that my boogers are freezing and my eyeballs are freezing. No, it's not that bad. And then I get to work, and when you're in work mode, you just focus on work.
Yeah.
So I was there for 4 or 5 hours, and then that's where I knew that we were gonna meet at the gym, because eventually we were gonna come home. So I texted you, asking if you were gonna have lunch or whatever. So I was trying to figure out if I was gonna have lunch, because at that moment it was 12 o'clock and I was getting hangry. So when I went to lunch, I stopped at a restaurant and actually took myself out on a nice little lunch date, because I wanted to spoil myself right there and then. And I called my dad. So I was in the restaurant. I sat down and I was just like, what should I do? It'll be nice to just call him, because I remember this time last year I didn't call him and I felt like shit. So I didn't want to go through that again. And I called him and we talked for like a good 45 minutes, I think. And it was nice. It felt like I was actually having lunch with him, even though I wasn't having lunch with him. Like just talking to him and him listening to me, even though I'm eating. I didn't want to click, because I also wanted to speak to him, because I didn't know if I was going to have another chance throughout the day, considering our day was going to be busy. And we spoke about life and just how everything's been, with my nose and my fracture, and even though it's not broken like that. Yeah.
I saw the x-rays.
He saw the x-rays.
Before she did.
Yeah, and we know that it's not fully broken, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I told him about that. I was just checking in with everything that's been going on. So it was nice. We talked for those 45 minutes, and I left, and then I met you guys at the gym.
And where are your emotions at this point?
Well, after I spoke to him, I felt fine. I was fine. I was happy, because I felt like, so this, I don't know if it happens to you, but like when you have something in your mind that you want to do, unless you do it, you won't be happy. And I didn't want to have that conversation pending. And because I did it, I felt like I accomplished something right there, even though I went to work, like, that's work.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to do is talk to him, so I felt accomplished right there and then, and I was happy. And then from there, from the ride to the house, so that transition from when we got to the house to the party time, and I was here, it's usually my time to kind of
get ready to people.
Yes. Yes. So I mentally prepare for people, even though I spend a lot of time with people, but it's different. It's a different environment. Yeah. And it's also a celebration. And just based on history, when I celebrate, I don't want to celebrate. So I have to mentally prepare for celebration. And so I was just like, like, that's where my mood started to shift. And I wasn't too excited anymore. So the excitement started dying, I guess, and it started drying. And that's where I was like consciously talking to myself, to one of the voices, like, hey, like, it's fine, you're gonna celebrate, you're gonna have a good time, don't expect anything, just be there. And so I did. And then we got there, I started fixing the, I don't know how to say the
say it.
It's charcuterie board, whatever. Charcuterie, whatever. Charcuterie board, whatever.
Chihuahua board.
Chihuahua board. Where you put all the little cheeses and stuff, the little cheese and the ham and the pepperoni and the nuts, all fancy and stuff. So that's where I just like, okay, you know what? Fuck it. Just focus on that for now. And then from there, that's where we just started talking with a cousin, and yeah, I kind of just forgot about it. And then we ate, and then after we eat, I sat down on the couch so everyone else could eat and stuff in the table, and then that's where it hit me. I was like, and then I made the post. So I was trying not to think about it too much, but.
So, why do you think you go to that? Is there like a certain certain point where maybe previous traumas or whatever, where after the food is done, that's when the problems start coming up, or everyone's focused on eating, so no one's really focused on anything else but the food? Or is it the fact that you kind of removed yourself from where the bulk of everybody was, and now you're feeling like an outsider because you removed yourself from the table?
A little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So just based on previous history with like family, it was always catering to people. It was, okay, we eat, we're talking, music, loudness, just party, chaos, right? And then sometimes there was problems, sometimes there was arguments, and so with so much going on, there's like very little room to focus on ourselves. Like, what am I feeling? Like, am I really happy? Whatever. You just get lit. You just in the moment, whatever. So there's a little bit of that, and so now it's different. The environment is different when you actually have conversations and you share each other's stories and make fun of each other, right? And then there's a part where that the focus is not, it's so when we're in a group, the focus is not necessarily on me.
Yeah.
And that's why in like we talked about even on the podcast, how when you used to be in school and there was a teacher calling students to participate or give a speech or whatever, you didn't want to be called, so you sat in the back of the class.
Mm-hmm.
That's me, because everyone's so focused on each other, there's no focus on me, so I mind my own business, and that's better for me. So I just kind of just blend in with the crowd. And because there's no, like, I don't share anything, it's like, okay, well, the focus is not on me, so it doesn't matter. It's okay.
Yeah. And
then there's the part where it's like, oh, shit, now everyone's quiet. It's getting awkward. Let me just leave. Mm-hmm. And then I isolate myself. Because now if the focus does come on me, I'm going to feel the pressure to speak, and then I don't feel well. At least at that moment, I wasn't feeling it anymore.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, fuck, what if I start crying? What if I freak out? What if I don't know, if I say something and then I regret it, or maybe I just give off a different vibe that I don't want to show. Mm-hmm. Because I also want to show that I'm happy to be there, because I am, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate everyone there. But then internally it doesn't feel right, weirdly. Because there's a little part of me that feels guilty for being happy. Damn, I said that out loud. Yeah. And so what happens is that the guilt comes in, and then it's like my brain just goes like, oh shit, let's just hold back. Mm-hmm. You're having too much fun. Let's not do that. Let's put ourselves in a state where you're just not as happy as you would like. Yeah. Damn, that took a lot of guts. Shit. Thanks. Fucking Tazz. This is why I talk to you? So you can put me on the spot like that? Oh gosh.
You set up the spotlight yourself?
I did,
But so where does that come from?
The guilt or the feeling bad, or
feeling bad for being happy?
I've had experiences with people where their words really impacted how I felt. So when they would tell me like, you wouldn't be happy without me being around or whatever, like, because I cared so much about them, I took them too deep. Like those words that they said were really deep.
Yeah.
It actually felt wrong for me to be happy, because I associate sometimes, right, happiness with being selfish. Mm-hmm. And being selfish is not a good thing.
So you're kind of coming from experiences where your purpose was to make other people happy and not yourself.
Yeah. Because if I
Because you also talked about how there was, like, you know, in your previous experience with the holidays, like catering. You're catering to people, right? That's kind of the way that things were done. You know, so now that those things are changing, and you saw with my family, it's not necessarily catering. It's just you want something, go get it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So there's a little bit of that change of environment that possibly your body's not reacting to because you don't know what to do. Because also, and outside of just all of that, but like at work, at the gym, you're the type of person, if you're not doing something, you feel like you're wasting time. You know, so it's like you constantly try to stay busy. So, and I'm speaking because I had this issue too, where that when you have nothing to do or when you're trying to relax, it's hard to do that because the constant feeling that you're supposed to be doing something.
Yeah. That's how what I'm used to doing, and it sort of feels like when I do nothing, it's like too boring. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because it's not like it's like I told you, like it's not like I plan to feel like that, like it happens.
So if you don't plan on feeling like that, why should you plan on when to talk about it as opposed to talking about it when it happens? Because if you can't plan for those feelings, you also can't plan of, all right, we'll handle it at a different time.
Well,
you know?
yeah, I get your point.
Because if you remember last year, it was something very similar. I don't know if you remember last year's Christmas. Where you didn't tell me until like the day after, that after the party was over, you know, you kind of just sat on the couch, watched TV, and cried for 2 hours.
I didn't remember that. Yeah. Well.
So, which means this year you chose to do something about it. Whether you were planning on it or not, you ended up doing something about it.
Yeah.
So let's say you come across anybody, but specifically, let's say a little girl that's very similar to you, going through similar things. What would you tell her?
You make me cry, man. This is what I deal with. Ay, Tazz. This is what. Okay. I would definitely tell her that she's worthy, and that she's strong enough to talk clearly, and that people do love her. So her parents do love her. Any parent, I'm sure they love their child, and they will give their life to the child. And that she can get through it, you know. I will tell her that she can get through it, that she is strong enough to handle it, and that she needs to be with people that love her and appreciate her and that want the best for her. So yeah, I just, at that moment, it doesn't feel like that. But that's the little girl in me. Yeah. Feeling worthy and loved.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Yeah, Tazz. It's just so annoying.
The defense rests.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, jeez.
Any last words? Well, not last words. She's not dying. Nose is barely fractured.
That peace is happiness. Happiness is peace. And not until now is that I can see the difference. I can feel the difference, and it's not boredom. It's just peace, and that's okay. You know, so yeah, I don't like you. That's what I gotta say.
Feelings mutual. Being held hostage in
So we have
YouTube
this
video.
thing, right? So we say every time that we do a Tazz on you, like this is what we mean. Like if
She
you,
just got tazzed.
yeah, it just got tasked. Like if you meet us in person, if you know us from our friends, you're gonna know that you'll see that if you pull a Tazz on someone, you know you're gonna make them cry. You know you're gonna make them say something that it's uncomfortable, and you know he's gonna get the truth out of you. So, Tazz. But for real though, Tazz knows on Spotify
And YouTube.
and YouTube, and
You're already here on YouTube, so you might as well just go over there and
Tazz
just
knows.
hit that subscribe button. Just saying.
Yep.
Just saying.
And all social media platforms. Tazz MMA. Tazz knows. Yeah. And that's it. This is a hot cocoa that I didn't even get to drink like that. And then we got some cookies. But we're going to cheers to that. And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And Happy New Year.